All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of At the Table by Urban Forex. I have here with me on the panel, I have Ian tuning in all the way from Australia.
Hey everybody.
Okay, we have Lucas tuning in from Malaysia,
Hey everyone, how's it going?
and Armo all the way from Thailand.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Welcome. So, guys, we have a topic here today that I've been getting a lot of questions about, asking me that, Naveen, if I am new to trading, and on top of that, I have a full-time job, how do I even get started with trading? Should I even get involved with trading? Because from what I hear, it's very difficult. It takes a long time. So is there a way for me to get my feet wet and try it out to see if this is right for me? So let's talk about that a little bit. What are the ups and downs for that sort of a thought process? And is it even possible for someone who wants to just come in part-time just to try it out to see if this is for them? So what do you guys think about this? Armo, you want to give it a go?
Yeah, well, I have that experience myself, starting out from having a full-time job first and then trying to trade. So I was based in Western Europe at that time, and I had a full-time job that took my time basically from 7 in the morning until 5 p.m. roughly like that. 5 p.m. I would be home.
Yeah.
And at that time, London is done pretty much. New York, they are slowly getting ready for lunch. So there wasn't a whole lot left on the table to trade. Sometimes I would get lucky and I would be able to pull a trade in the evening. But generally, the day would be done. And I always had a hard time figuring out what I could do. Now, years later, having experienced the market a lot more, I know there are ways around it and there are ways to make it work. But at the time, I just couldn't figure it out. So when I had a chance to go full time, I did, even when I was far from profitable at that time.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely know where a lot of people are coming from when they say, oh yeah, I have a hard time juggling between work and trading.
Okay. Lucas, what's your take on this?
Well, personally, for me, I don't have that kind of. I have a little bit. When I first started, I was still in school, so for me, it was a little bit easier because I can schedule all my classes in the morning, and me being in Asia, the London starts in the afternoon, so I was able to play around with the time zone a little bit better that way.
Okay, so you didn't have to really experience the option of, well, I'm busy full time, and then how am I going to do this? Okay.
Well, right now, still, sort of like helping out students from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, all the time, basically. So right now, we're still trying to figure out, how to fit in our trading in the right way,
Right.
and still being able to, service any students that needs our help.
Yeah.
Like,
that right now is a whole different case for you because you've been in the industry long enough to know what are the right times to trade, what are the wrong times to trade, and do I have to actually sit in front of my computer all day long? Like you know that a lot better now than when you probably did when you first started, right?
yeah.
So, all right. Well, what about you, Ian? Ian, you got a family, full time, everything. How was it for you? Because you have a different scenario compared to Lucas. What about for you?
Yeah, I was gonna actually bring up, even just despite having a full-time job, that's one thing that can take people's time, but also, whether you're a single parent or you're there's a lot of different student or whatever, there's different scenarios that limit your time. But for me, it was more along the lines of our most scenario where I did work full-time when I first started.
Yeah.
And I had kids and family on top of it. So and also at the time, I moved to a different time zone now, which isn't possible maybe for everybody, but at the time, yeah, I lived in North America. So it was like I worked basically all during New York. I got home for just Asia, and then London was all while I was sleeping. So it was a tricky scenario, having to layer all those things in, but it's possible. So
Yeah.
it's definitely doable. So
Yeah, absolutely. It has different effects for different people. And it's a fascinating thing. And I thought it was an interesting topic when these questions started to come in. And I figured, why not we talk about this? Because it's not just a handful of people thinking like this. I think it's a lot of people thinking, well,
Yeah.
I see trading as a lifestyle that I probably want to pursue because it's not the trading itself, it's what it can give me, right? So for some people, they say trading can give me more money. But when I actually look at the bottom line, it's not the money that people are after. It's many people that when I personally talk to them, they say, if I can just make as much money as I do in my job, I'll take trading because all I want is that freedom to do what I want.
Yeah.
Now, that's the perception of how people start in the industry. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. I'm going to ask all of you guys here. Armo, when you first started, just to match what you were earning before, were you able to do it in less amount of time, or were you able to say, you know what, today I'm not going to trade? I'm just going to chill. How much time did you actually spend in front of your desk?
No, it takes a lot of time, especially if you don't know when you should be looking at your charts. And then even at some point you understand, okay, these are the hours I should be spending at my, looking at my chart. And I know there is actually something to look at. But then you completely overdo it because you think, well, since I have the time and I'm here anyway, I might as well just keep on looking at my charts, and then you go completely overboard with what you're supposed to do, and it can actually have a negative effect that you're cross-eyed, you're unable to take anything in, you're unable to focus anymore, and it just goes downhill from there instead of uphill. So
Interesting.
it needs to be a good balance.
Okay, then let me put it this way. Okay, so Lucas, here's a question for you. Knowing what you know now, and if you're restarting from the beginning, how would you schedule your life in terms of knowing when you need to trade, how you need to trade, how much focus do you need to put on it? How would you do that if you knowing what you know now again, and then going back and restarting all over again?
And I am at what point in my life?
You're partying, you're DJing, you got multiple girlfriends, you're at that stage where you're just like, I just want to go wild, It's like,
Knowing what I know now,
Don't even get into trading, just stick with that if you can.
you still need money to sustain that kind of lifestyle.
Mm.
So knowing what I know now, I think the only difference is it's going to be a lot more clearer to me to know where I should keep my focus and attention on.
Yeah.
So, well, the short answer to that is if I'm trading on a lower time frame, which I am right now, then putting my focus on those busy hours, as we like to call it. So yeah, busy hours, perhaps 3 to 4 hours per session. If I'm trading 2 sessions, that's going to be like 6 hours of trading session. Whether or not I get a trade in, that's something else. But putting my attention and focus during those hours, and then for the rest of those free time, focusing on PA, journaling, looking back at trades, all those kind of stuff. And then if I still have time, like what you said earlier, DJing, partying, girls, blah, 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 blah.
Like, I'll be sure to forward this podcast to your girlfriend. All right, Ian. So let's switch it up a bit. So let's say based on same thing, what you know now, and you were to go back and stuff. If you're only trading one session, would you be able to sustain a lifestyle part-time by trading part-time? Is it possible? Would you say, is it possible?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. In fact, you can set your charts, like you were saying before, too long. So knowing what I know now, it's just important to have that schedule and your trading time based around the most effective or the best times, because you want to be there, those opening hours, those active hours. So as long as you can schedule that time to be focused on your trading, you can
Yeah.
definitely make it work.
Okay, cool. Now I want to touch base on a myth. Okay, let's talk about the myths. So, is it a specific strategy that you guys trade that if I only knew this strategy back in the day, I would be making millions? Is it a strategy? Is it like you wake up in the morning, you see this on your chart, then you do this, then you enter, that's where you put your stop loss, and that's where you exit? Is it like a very routine process where when that indicator crosses over this indicator and that ocean crosses over this ocean and that bat pattern becomes like a cat pattern? Like, is it very systematic like that?
Not really. That's why it's about reading the market. That's why I think into your schedule you have to incorporate. It's not just like coming home from work or whatever and just slapping your bag on the floor and then just like boom, entering a trade just like that. You have to like, you need a little bit of time before to actually read the market. It's not just about seeing something on the screen,
Correct.
that
correct.
crosses this and that. So
that's interesting, right? So there's two sides to the coin right now that we're talking about. So one, yes, it can be done part-time for you to see, is this career going to be right for me? But two, it's not going to be as easy as, oh, well, what's the strategy? I just need to know the strategy. Where do I enter? Where do I enter? Where do I enter?
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the answer.
Yeah.
Right? There's a little bit of evolution that needs to go in. You can't just come home and be like, you know what? I'm ready for surgery today. So who's next? Oh man, run. It's like, you do not want to be treated by that guy. So
That sounds more like the guy that comes and steals your kidneys.
like, yeah, and still messes it up. So okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Lucas, what would you have to say is the key? What would you have to, if you have to reverse engineer everything, and let's say you have a person coming to you and he does not know A from B and B from C of Forex, where should he begin? Where should he or she begin? And this person is working full time. What would you say? Would you say, I want you to focus on this specifically? Where would you have that person start?
Well, not to sound too biased here, but start with Urban Forex.
Like, all right, I will send you the check tomorrow. Like, yeah, Lucas is not sponsored in this thing by at all.
That's it's actually a really good and tough question. I usually recommend, like my close friend who wants to get started, I'll tell them to go through YouTube and then just look at everything related to Forex or trading in that matter. And then just try dipping your toe into everything you can find, basically. But it's gonna be a period of exploration, I would say.
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
Perhaps once that student has, once that student has known a little bit about, how to read what's an uptrend, what's a range, what's a channel, know a little bit about what's an indicator and what certain indicator does. And once they have little knowledge here and there, then, we can put more focus on, okay, now, you want to put more attention on how to read the markets, like how Urban Forex students do.
All right, I'll make the check bigger. Like, all right, Arma, what do you have to say about that? Well, you want to add anything?
I have to agree with Lucas. You have to try all kinds of different things, even things that you might not use a whole lot afterwards, just so you know what they are, how they work, and then put your attention to learning how to read the market step by step, like a story. And if you do that often enough, you become experienced enough in reading the market, you will actually have that system where you just show up in front of your charts. No, it's not a 5-minute thing, but it'll be, depending on how fast you are, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something. But in that systematic approach, you will still have something that's like a habit, like muscle memory, where you will immediately or within that time span see, okay, there is something for me in this session and I know what I'm going to do and I can make a plan with this.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So those of you guys who are tuning in, whether you guys are listening to this episode on Apple iTunes or Google or Spotify, wherever you're tuning in from, what I'm going to be doing specifically right after this podcast is I'm going to be taking this podcast directly into a live webinar. So the link will be below the podcast, so you can find out how you can watch that webinar recording. Those of you guys who are here live, I see 300 plus of you guys tuning in live. You guys can just stay on board and we'll go directly into it. I'm going to show you guys a few things on what techniques and things that you can actually focus on if you're just getting started. So one of the key elements that, if I may to add to this, is in the beginning, do not commit to anything. As weird as that sounds, do not commit to anything in the beginning. In the beginning, just be like that guy that says, I am ready to fall. You go onto YouTube, you say, Forex, what? Question mark. It's like, and then you go in, you look at the first video and you're like, okay, I understood what I could. You look at the second video. Okay, I understood what I could. All right, that sounds like, well, this guy is showing me how to make money per se. Doesn't matter. Don't commit. Take that knowledge, try it. Take the next piece of knowledge, whether it's support and resistance or trend lines or whatever stuff that you might hear around Forex. Try it. As you try it, the one key thing you need to do is stop hopping and looking for the answer. Listen to your curiosity of, I did this, it worked. I did that again, but this time it didn't work. Why? Begin your journey with that why. It's that why that's going to get you further and further and further. You have to do this part-time. But I'm going to say one thing that it is going to sound bad for those of you guys who are starting off, and I don't want you to get disheartened by it. It's not going to happen in the first month or two. So if you're trying this journey out, you have to realize that it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be even a month. It's not going to be even 2 months. Having said that, are you still interested? Are you still looking to get into trading? If you have that desire in you that says, I know I'm not going to make it in the beginning, but I'm going to start my journey, then you have a glimpse of hope of, all right, let's see what you got. Okay? Because if you want to make more money than engineers, doctors, pilots, and lawyers combined, then you gotta put in some level of work, right? You can't just show up and be like, well, I tried it, it didn't work, on to the next thing. I'm gonna be a car mechanic now. Well, they don't let me work on the Rolls Royce, so I can't get the big bucks. Well, now I wanna be a pharmacist. Well, I can't sell weed, so now I'm gonna do something else. Like you can't keep hopping around like that, you know? So the whole perception is, can we specialize? Can we specialize? And that's where the money is. Okay, so as a small reminder for everyone who's tuning in or listening in, you want to be a pilot? You can be a junior pilot. You can be a trainee and still earn money. You want to be an engineer? You can be an intern and still make money. When you come into trading, there is no intern. There is no, I'm a bachelor degree graduate, so I'm going to earn something. It's either you make money or you actually lose money. Not I make money or I don't make money. No. It's either you make money or you lose money. That is a risk perspective that a normal person who's in a job is not used to understanding this logic. Because all of us, when we were beginning into a job, our whole risk parameter was either I'm going to make money, or if I get fired, I stop making money. There is no downside ever. Trading opens the downside up for you. Now you can go negative. Okay, so that door is very unique to many people that they haven't experienced before. They're used to, if I do something, I get paid for it. If I do something, I get paid for it. But this thing, what you're doing now is I do something and they take money from me. That's weird. I've never seen that before. This is something completely different for those who are outside the business side of the world and simply into the working side of the world. In the working side of the world, you do not experience that. You don't experience downside. Does that make sense? Would you guys agree with that, Lucas, Ian, Armo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes getting used to. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to get very curious, and then you have to go through this process, which may take a few months. But again, as I told you slightly earlier, 5 minutes ago, that it's not so easy to start off with. But let me ask each of you guys one thing. Okay, Ian, I'm going to start with you. Once you get the ball rolling, is it satisfying?
Oh, well, yeah, because you're doing something that I don't even know what the percentage is. The top 5% or maybe the world, whatever it is that people can't do. I mean, it's definitely satisfying.
Perfect. So there you go. Lucas, how about that? The top 5, you're in the top 5%. Is it hard?
Well, yeah, of course it's hard. That's why it's only the top 5%, right?
No, but is it hard as in like, is it rocket science?
No, it just takes a lot of time, practice.
There you go. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It takes time. All you got to do is show up. But it's not rocket science, right? Would you guys say that? Is it difficult, like to that extent where it's like, I don't understand anything. I'm having to do algebraic math with calculus and stuff.
I wouldn't be sitting here if that was the case.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's a myth that if you're in finance or if you're in trading that you're gonna have to crunch a lot of numbers. Okay, well, Lucas, what is the exchange rate of the Indian rupees to the Malaysian ringgit right now? Do you know the quotes right now?
I have no idea, man.
Right? How many of you guys here on this panel have got a family member or a friend or a relative asking you, hey, I'm looking to travel.
Oh, yeah.
Should I exchange my money now or later? What do you think I should do?
Yeah. I think it's easier to ask me than just to Google it or anything like that. I'm like, I have no idea.
It's like, so as traders, there's this misperception that people have of traders of, well, you're in Forex. Well, you should know all the prices of the world right now.
Yeah,
It's like
live. I'm streaming them in my head as we speak.
But as traders, the one thing you're doing at a fast pace, at a very, very fast pace, is you're learning to look for opportunities, executing it, and seeing the results and moving on. When we come out of a job, we don't have that exposure. Okay, because what is a job for us? We leave one job, we join the next job. That is one simple opportunity. And then in that job, we spend a month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. And then we realize this is right for me, not right for me. This is very beneficial, not beneficial. And then you learn from it, right? That is one opportunity for that long of a period of time. In trading, you are doing one opportunity within the next few hours, done. What did you learn from it? Move on. Next opportunity shows up. Did you make money from that opportunity? Move on. And then you have to learn from these things at a very fast pace, But you can also go at your own pace. You don't have to take the next opportunity until you don't sit down and say, what did I learn from the first one? What did I learn from the second one? It's like having unlimited capital and saying, now get out there and get into the real estate business. What are you going to do? Buy all the houses? You're not going to buy all the houses. You're going to think about it. Like, where should I buy the house? When should I buy the house? How big should I buy the house? Should I buy a 1-bedroom house, a 2-bedroom house? Should I buy a condo, single family house? You think of all these things. So just by being in the industry doesn't mean you're going to make money. You must specialize. So if the lifestyle you're looking for is freedom, and you might say, but I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not looking for the Rolls Royce or the private jet. I just want to replace my income. I'm going to ask all of you guys on the panel, if that is the question at hand, can I just learn a little bit and then make that much? Is that possible?
No, it's very, very different because think of trading successfully like a bell curve. So in a bell curve, the only last 5% makes money, but all the rest of it doesn't make money. So if you're learning and your level is like in the middle here, you're still gonna lose money. But once you're able to make money, although you don't really make much, but knowing that you're profitable, you can add more money, and then that's where more money comes. In other words, when people say, I don't really want to make much, I just want to make enough. But then that actually means if you're able to make enough, that means you're profitable. And if you're profitable, means you're going to make huge amount of money.
Good.
So,
Good. Very well said. Very, very well said. There is no such thing as a little bit, right? Yeah. You want to add to that, Lucas? Yeah.
Yeah. So understand that just being able to make money is probably one of the biggest destination you want to get to in trading. And I don't think there's anything in between there until you reach that destination. So anything before that, you're not making money, and you're better off, keep learning and keep trying until you get there.
Yes. As safety measures, I would like to also add that if you are at a full-time job and you get some kind of success in trading, stick with the job still until you can get that consistency going before you actually throw in the towel and saying, all right, screw you, boss, I'm going here full-time now. Be careful. Not so soon. Be very, very careful.
Everyone will have that phase where their performance is kind of in a range where it's like slightly profitable, slightly not profitable, then profitable again. And then once you break through that, then you're profitable, and then you can face the next challenge, which is getting a bigger account, scaling up, which it's not like, oh, I'm profitable and now immediately I'm raking in millions and billions. There's a new challenge there. And that's, doing it in a bigger fashion.
Correct. Correct.
It's probably easier than, or it is easier than that first journey of becoming profitable.
All right. Now, then let's talk about the final myth. For the sake of being non-popular, since we love doing that, and we like spitting fire, if you want to call it, where we speak the truth, but it's like they're gonna hate us if we just say it outright. They're gonna hate us. I swear they're gonna hate us. I'm just gonna be outright and say it. I want to ask all of you guys this one question. If you get even a little glimpse of success in trading in your early days, is going for a prop firm and getting funded the right direction?
No. Not yet.
That stage.
Yeah. What will more capital do if you don't know how to trade? You're just gonna lose more capital?
Bigger loss.
Yeah. If it's for free, do it. If it's for free, do it. But if you paid for it, you got that hat. What's that hat you wear in school when you get in trouble? Like DUNCE or something?
Dunce. Dunce cap.
Don't be made a fool. Don't be made a fool of by people just trying to make like $50 or $100. Don't do that. You guys are smarter than that. You guys are better than that. It's just a new wave coming in. So to answer everything in a nutshell, in a summary, to bring it back to reality, can trading be done part-time to actually know if this is the right path for you? What would you all say? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Will it be done in a very short span of time?
No.
If anyone promises it will be done in a very short span of time, what would you like to say to that?
He doesn't know how to trade.
That person himself probably has never traded himself, right? That's a scam. Run away. That's a scam. Run away. Okay. Is the dream of, well, I can become a trader, it's going to take some time and I'm going to become ultra rich from it, is that bad?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you're a guy that says, I want to make so much money that I have Ferraris all in different colors parked in my garage, is that bad? Should you feel guilty? No. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. People have different definitions of what they want to do with money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you want. So whatever you have in your mind, whether you want to be Robin Hood, and take from the rich, give to the poor, take from the market, give to this market. Like whether that's your thing, whether you want to be an ocean cleaner to make sure all the plastic is gone, whether you're a guy that says, you know what, I don't care about anything. I want 10 helicopters outside. All of this can be done. Right and wrong is a perception based on every individual and society. Society will generally label right and wrong and put pressure on you. But if that's what you want to do, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So the only reality that's going to be in your way is it takes a little bit of time. But there are some techniques that we can show you on what to look for and where to begin. Yeah, would you guys like to add anything before we switch this over into a webinar?
No, that was really nicely said.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a comment saying how long is some time. I guess he's referring to how long a student should expect to make money from the day he begins trading. I think this is also one of the questions that most new students coming into markets are thinking.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you guys think about the answer to that?
Well, I'll give you my personal experience to that. It took me over 10 years for me to turn profitable, maybe even more. Like 7 years, I've just made losses. And then after that was very fluctuating after that. There was no consistency, just fluctuating. I'm still trying to find myself, but I'm more controlled. And then after that, the profitable phase started. However, I have students who are doing faster. Their waves are down to like 1 to 2 years, right? Where they're stabilizing in 1 to 2 years. So it depends on where you begin your journey, if you get lucky with the right type of information or not. But the whole point is, it's not the information that gets you there. It's the correct information with a level curiosity side by side.
Yeah.
If that curiosity is not there of why is this technique so important? And then you dig deeper, oh yeah, the doors will open further and further and further. You got to go down that rabbit hole. It's like seeking for the answer, seeking for the truth. And all you're going to get is more education, more learning, and a better vision. What's going to happen? All right, Ian, Armo, would you like to add any final touches to those who want to start off? Should they do it at all? Is it worth it? If it's going to take longer than 2, 3, 4 months, is it still worth it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's 100%. I left my, I mean, I'm over 40 years old. I mean, I worked at a 9-to-5 job for, I don't even know, 15 years or whatever. And I changed my whole life through doing this. So, I mean, it's just about not giving up, and just like you say, it takes time, but it's totally worth it in the end. So from my personal experience, so
You can show up every day, then you can do this.
Correct. I see some people in the comments saying it's fun and worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, guys. So for those of you, again, those of you guys who are listening to this podcast, we are now going to switch this over into a webinar. Those of you guys who are here live, just stay tuned. We're just going to switch this over into a live webinar, and we'll take it from there. So thank you all of you guys here on the panel, Armo, Lucas, and Ian. I'll take over from here.
Yep. All right. Enjoy, everyone.
yeah.